China now. China may announce new measures today that would ease COVID-19 restrictions across the country. Since COVID-19 became a global pandemic, China has implemented that zero COVID policy to contain the spread of the virus. The decision to ease the policy comes as China's services activity shrinks to a 6-month low. It would also mark a small victory for the thousands of demonstrators across the country who have been protesting China's aggressive policy for weeks. Tom Dempsey is with us now this morning. So, Tom, what more can you tell us about some of the restrictions being relaxed?
Well, it's good news for the Chinese people, Marni. This morning, we're seeing more Chinese cities roll back some of these strict COVID restrictions, including in areas like Shanghai, where people no longer need to show or to meet testing requirements just to enter public places. And of course, this all comes after we saw massive protests across the country, some of the biggest types of protests we've seen in decades in the country. Also this morning in areas like Beijing, train service is back on and bus service is back on for the first time in months, where people can take a train or a bus without needing to test negative for COVID within 48 hours. Markets also reopened in some major cities. The communist government continues to consider scaling back restrictions even more, possibly leading to fewer border controls. As the country deals with many COVID cases, though, right now, leaders are also calling on people, especially senior citizens, to get vaccinated and boosted. This all comes after, again, as we said, massive protests against strict COVID restrictions in the country, which can sometimes lead to people being quarantined for weeks or months with little access to food and medicine. Protesters even recently called for President Xi Jinping to step down. Now, again, the government really hasn't commented on those protests. I haven't commented on them extensively, but seeing some of these restrictions rolled back right after seeing those protests could be a way for the government to kind of quell some of that anger and frustration we're seeing with people really tired of being cooped up inside their homes and having to deal with these massive lockdowns, Marni.
Yeah, these changes, welcome news. Any indication of what else could lie ahead, Tom?
Well, again, the government's kind of hinting at more changes could come down the line. We don't know what exactly, restrictions in particular could be rolled back, but it's important to note, cases are still surging in China right now, and the government still wants to contain the spread of COVID. So China still remains somewhat, committed to that zero COVID policy, which, led to those massive lockdowns and people being holed up inside their homes for weeks and even months at a time. So it's going to be interesting to see what restrictions get rolled back and which ones stay in place as cases continue to be a big concern there, Marni.
Yeah, based on what we're hearing, it seems like a lot of the city leaders are rolling back the restrictions. Whether or not the federal government has much involvement in that, still to be seen. All right, Tom, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.